All right, so I thought it was interesting listening to Garrett Wilson there talk a lot about the staff change and saying this is the first time going through a staff change. He was essentially unaware of the growing pains, he said, of what that looks like. You played in the league, Willie. What do you think about that?
Great question, Gelbs. Man, it's tough, man, because the coaching changes I have been a part of. Scheme does take time, but effort and being invested in your work and attention to detail, that's a man versus man thing. I think when you talk about adjusting to new coaches, it's really a matter of you taking the time to understand what this guy's trying to teach you and implement. And it's hard. And sometimes we live in a microwave society where we want to be able to put it in, get it out right away, and have the instant result. But a lot of these guys, you're dealing with a lot of aspects. Some of these guys are learning how to be pros. Some of these guys are still dealing with trauma from the past regime. And other guys who are being paid top dollar to be the best Jet they can be are feeling like they're shouldering more than they can actually handle. And so when you stomach all that, you put it all together, man, and things aren't clicking. And like you said, we watch, for everybody out there, we watch football from Thursday to Monday, right? And we see turnovers, we see fumbles, we see bad quarterback play, on and on and on. But it seems like we never come out on the other side of it. You know what I mean? Every other team can come back. We were taking a peek at the Giants. They had 3 fumbles, and they were still all the way in the game to the end. So something from an individual standpoint, from a ball player to a coaching staff, they have to get to the point where it's not about being perfect. It's about making sure you're prepared for the day on all accounts. And that's how you move forward. That's how you build momentum. And, I have so much respect for Garrett Wilson, man. It's not easy doing that week after week, knowing that you're being the best you can be for this team, and yet you end up on the losing side of things. So I tip my hat off to him, but just keep fighting, young fellow.
Yeah, Connor, I think the way Willie describes it, and he's described it a couple of times this way after the game today, organizational trauma, I think it's a great way to look at it. I mean, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, Sauce Gardner, these guys are all doing the right things. They say the right things after the game, but the feeling doesn't seem to be quite there. And I think when you look at what is happening here, and Aaron Glenn, again, we said seeming perplexed by what's happening, I think that's a real thing when you're trying to change around such a deeply embedded culture.
It is, because I guarantee, not to speak for them, but just what we watch, it feels like there's a, oh, here we go again feeling. The first moment of a game, something bad happens. Yep. And I don't blame them for that, because they haven't been shown how to get they haven't been shown the light. Right. Like they haven't been shown otherwise. And there's a lot of looking around at each other, and they don't have a guy right now. And the hard part is with this game is, more often than not, there's really 2 people that can dig you out in those moments, or have the best opportunity to, the head coach and the quarterback. And the reality is, for the Jets right now, for a very, very long time, we haven't had people in those positions that have consistently shown the ability to do that. And that's not Garrett Wilson's fault, who goes out there and gives you a good game every single week. That's not Breece Hall's fault. And anybody that wants to just lay on the fact that Breece Hall fumbled and that's where the bad of this, the problem is, once again, that the Jets, it compounds, and they can't overcome these things ever or pick each other up. So, and that's going to be on Aaron Glenn right now, because let's be real, Justin Fields hasn't shown in his career that he's going to be that guy. So they went into this season going, our defense and our run game and our coaching and our special teams will supplement enough that it'll overcome that. We don't have a quarterback that can put us on his back. But right now, they don't have those things.
But being a guy that probably won 3 games in college, and I know how that is, like winning is a habit, but losing is as well. But when I came into the league, I had 2 new coaches, right? I had Harbaugh, and then I guess we consider Rex that. And because of the men that was in that locker room, we didn't have that. Remember, I had 2 rookie quarterbacks. I had Joe Flacco, it was supposed to be Troy Smith, and we found a way to get it done. It is too much talent in that locker room, proven talent in that locker room, for them to be this bad. Because we see teams like Carolina winning. We see teams like the Cleveland Browns. I think they won one too, right? Yep. So we see teams like the Cleveland Browns, who have the same reputation.
They beat the Packers.
I'm saying have the same reputation as the Jets, right?
Yeah.
And we see the Panthers beat Miami 1 week after the Miami destroyed the Jets. So the Jets fans have a lot of patience, but you can't be this bad.
Not anymore.
I don't know if the patience is a good word.
Too much at times.
The
Saints won today.
Right, the Saints won the day.
Right,
we watched the Giants beat the Chargers.
It can cross over into apathy, and that's what you don't want, right? And I will say this, and I mean, you started making that point, and then Bart kind of finished it. The Jets were supposed to be this year
rebuild.
The 2009
Reload.
New York Jets. Not in the end of the result, right? Nobody expected the 09 Jets to go to the AFC Championship game, but it was ground and pound and play good defense. And that team, in part, this isn't to blow smoke, but they brought Bart over in part to help implement in the room what the coach was trying to do and the mentality. And right now, they don't have those people.
And that's why it was odd to me. I'm like, hold up, Glenn's coming over. He ain't bring nobody. I mean, Reynolds. I'm like, who you bringing to sell the culture?
Right.
In the locker room, that's important. You got to have people like, hey, it was me, Trevor Price. It was Marquise Douglas. It was Jim Leonard. Rex made sure he brought soldiers with him that make sure that we held up to a standard. And all that chatter and stuff that happens in the locker room when you start, separating and get into groups, we killed all that.
Yeah.
Remember, we started 3-0, but then we was 0-3, and the ship could have went down, but we said, not on our watch.